Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Mike Brancatelli here, host of the Micadelic podcast, and you're watching The System is Down, AntiNews Live, the best anti-news news show in the history of anti-news news shows. Because honestly, what else are you going to do these days? You're going to turn on cable news, listen to a bunch of old gray-haired dinosaurs that talk like robots to try and make you brain dead and fall asleep? Hi, welcome to the news. Today, we're going to lie to you 24/7. Exactly. So, cut your cable, cut your cord, take your television, throw it out the window, go streaking down your neighborhood block and say, Anti-News Live is on. Stay tuned.
Hey, what's up, Craig?
Hey.
Welcome to another Monday. You know what that means? It means it's another week. That means we're all just 1 or 2 days closer to death. There is a silver lining in this life, and it's that the one thing that's guaranteed is death. Craig, how's it going?
That's your silver lining?
Yep.
All right.
Yeah. So, welcome to the Anti-News, the place where we, talk about all the really, really important things that are happening in the world, the most important headlines, and we just poke fun at all of them, give them the much-deserved irreverence. We tell you the things that you really need to know about. You don't need to know about, the polls or the really detailed politics. What you need is two guys who will read headlines in real time and tell you kind of what they think about them. That's where real journalism is.
This is true. This is the truth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, how better else to get your information than just listen to somebody while they get their information?
You're not
like
wrong.
In real time.
You're not wrong. And we were talking about something right before we hit record, and I said save it. And now, after we hit record, I don't remember what it was. Do you remember what it was?
Oh, we were talking about news videos on news websites.
Yeah. I've got all these tabs open here for the different headlines and news stories. I don't understand why every single one of them has to have a video at the top. Usually the video is unrelated to the actual story. It's just some ad or like some sad music thing and then talking about maybe a semi-related news story. It's not actually reporting on what the article is most of the time. And you said, what?
I said, why would you want to go to a website to watch the news? If I wanted to watch the news, I'd just turn on the news.
I disagree with that wholeheartedly because that would require me to turn on the news, and I'm already on a computer, so I would rather watch it than read it. But I do not want to watch unrelated news to what I'm actually here for.
But that's 98% of it. You know, when we read through the news article and there's like 8 paragraphs of nothing and 1 paragraph of the news, literally watching the news is exactly the same thing, but you can't get the highlights of it unless you have a TiVo.
Sure.
And you can fast forward with the you have, I'm sure you have a TiVo by now.
I've never had a TiVo in my life.
I don't even know if TiVo still exists. It's DVR now.
Never had one of those
TiVo
either.
went by the wayside. I had it once, but that was the big push, like marketing push was, oh, you could fast forward through commercials. Only if you record it and then watch it later. It's not like you can record or fast forward past live commercials, which...
it's the same as a VHS tape that you record. You can fast forward the commercials if you wait until the show is over and go back and watch it.
Your age is showing.
My age? Cool.
VHS. What is this VHS tape that you refer to?
I'm not going to go there, but it's ancient technology for you young folk, where things were literally recorded onto a reel of thin plastic, referred to as tape. But who cares? We're not here to talk about what happened in the past. We're here to talk about the present and, more importantly, the future. But if you're new to the show, welcome to the Anti-News, the place where we chill, we drink the drinks and smoke the smokes and talk about all the things that are going on. So, Craig, what you drinking? What you smoking? How's it going?
I feel like it's a rerun every time you ask me that because, once again, I am drinking coffee and boorbon.
Snooze.
It's delicious, though.
Is that like the Classy 4 Loco?
I think you asked that once.
Exactly. We're just going to keep having the same repeat conversation at the beginning of every episode
No,
until you get a new drink.
Classy would be if I had like a bourbon latte or something, like with like foam on top. There's no foam. It's just, I mean, there's all the ingredients of a latte. There's strong coffee and there's like half and half cream. There's just no foam on top, pretty much. And it wasn't shot out of an espresso machine. I'm only drinking drip coffee. I'm so sorry to disappoint all the
hipsters,
classy people out there.
Yep. So what you vaping this eve?
I am vaping Fuggin' Donuts by fugginvapes.com. Is that the website? I don't know.
Something. Fugginvapors.com or something like that. Yeah, I am drinking a Dr. Pepper and rum, plastic jug rum, because I am classy as well. And I am...
It's gross.
I agree. It's not great. But I am vaping the, I believe the same as last week. It is the PB&J Fuggin' Vapor. We should get them to endorse us, because I got you into their products, and surely we've gotten at least one other or two other people into Fuggin' as well. Fugginvapor.com. Go check them out right now and order the most premium and cheap e-liquids on the web. Fugginvapor.com.
My little plug for them about their customer service. Right before or the day of Thanksgiving, somewhere around there, they had this big time sale going on where they're selling like $25 bottles for like $10. And so I ordered 2 bottles. And the stuff, that blue slushy stuff last week was the first bottle, and then this donut stuff was the second. I got my order in the mail, and it only had 1 bottle in it. I knew as soon as I grabbed the package, I was like, there's only 1 bottle here. This is bullshit. And you're like, oh, just email them. They're really good with customer service.
They're great.
I emailed them. I think it was probably Saturday. So Monday, first thing in the morning, I get an email back saying, hey, take a picture of the bottle you got and the packing slip.
Yep.
And so I fortunately still had the packing slip. Took a picture.
Of course,
both.
how hard would it be to take a picture and show them? Like, just take. You don't include that bottle, but...
Right. That's what I thought too. I was like, that's really trusting.
You accidentally leave the bottle in there in the background. Ah, dang it! You just send it. You're like, there's donuts right there, dude.
No, that was from last week. It's clear full. So I sent them that email, and within a couple hours, they emailed back. They're like, oh, sorry about that. It's already in the mail, and we sent you a little something extra. I get the package on Friday, I think. And it had the donuts and another bottle of this strawberry cheesecake stuff. That is even
used to be my jam.
Even better than the donuts. So I'm glad that they made that mistake.
Yeah, that used to be my go-to flavor. I'll probably go back to it soon because it's fantastic. Nice strawberry cheesecake. But check them out. If you are a douchebag vapor, go check out FUGGINVAPORS.com. And I'm going to send them a link to this episode and see if we can get sponsored, because, why not?
That would be awesome.
Yeah, so anything else happened to you of interest over the weekend before we jump into these news articles?
Oh, let's see. What did happen this weekend? I smoked a turkey.
Like, in your vape?
Well, no.
Fuggin' vapes, turkey
dinner, Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah.
Gross. Oh, that'd be horrible. No, I had some people over from work, the 2 people and their families that I like from work out of all of them. And it did not include my boss, who reminds us of Michael Scott from The Office. Mm-hmm. So it was the actual cool people that like to have a good time and have a few drinks and stuff. And smoked a turkey. It was a late Thanksgiving. Friendsgiving, I guess, is what the cool kids are saying these days.
Somebody needs to come up with a more original title for their Friendsgiving.
Less retarded sounding title.
I've heard of like 12 Friendsgivings this year, and it's well after Thanksgiving even. So
yep, that's what this was.
Call it Friendsmas or ex-Friendsmas.
It doesn't sound good.
You invite over all of your former friends.
At the same time, I decided, because I always get done smoking the food, and there's always like an hour or 2 left where the grill stays really hot, and it's like I should capitalize on this burning charcoal. So I decided to make a pie on the smoker, and I found a recipe for a smoked bourbon bacon pecan pie, and it was amazing. It was as good as it sounds. Which
you gotta bring me
surprisingly,
some of that shit, right?
I actually texted Mom and told her I was making it, or she called me while I was doing it, and I told her, she's like, that sounds really good. And I was surprised she said that, but she likes
Did you include bourbon in the title too?
No, absolutely not. Because she would have shot it down instantly, because I brought beer-flavored brats to their camper once, and they both refused to eat them because the word beer was in it. But no, she was like, oh, that sounds really good. You should, she was like, I wish you could send me some. And I was like, why don't I make one and bring it for Christmas dinner next week?
Yeah, do it. Even if you don't bring it to that, bring it. You're staying at our house beforehand, so bring it over to our house. At least bring me a slice, and we'll eat it live or something.
It was
we'll eat it live.
And my wife and my brother-in-law thought it sounded. It's like dudes think bacon and anything sounds great, and not so many women think that. Like Mandy's like, that sounds horrible. Why would you even think that sounds good? I was like, have you ever had a maple bacon donut? She's like, no, that sounds disgusting. I'm like, they're the best donuts in the world.
I've had maple bacon ice cream, chocolate covered bacon, all the stuff. It's amazing.
I know a few years, probably 5 years ago, I went to Denny's and they were doing a maple bacon month, and they had like a maple bacon sundae and different bacon and maple things, and it sounded amazing. But this pie was probably the best pie I've ever eaten. Not because I made it, but because there was bacon in it.
Mm-hmm. I haven't had too many pies with bacon in it. Sounds great. Sounds great, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm trying to... I would like to tell you how my weekend went, but I don't think anything really happened. I filmed a wedding on Saturday. Sunday, I was extremely wiped out and went to church, came home, and I watched Star Wars Episode 8 again. Last Jedi, because it's just
because it's that terrible and you wanted to try to
shut your whore mouth. Anyway, so that's the local news. Let's jump into this. We'll kick through the intro here and jump into some actual stories and let you guys know what the hell is up. So here goes nothing.
All I ask is, if we have to give these bastards our lives, we give them hell before we do!
The tragedy of our day is the climate of fear in which we live.
Talking about the Salomon Brothers building collapsing.
But ask the congressman to withdraw that comment and tell us that he didn't really mean that.
Half a stop before they do what I call nasty.
I don't know what I said. I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
The Bible commands that certain people be put to death.
Thieves were possessing weapons of mass destruction. 9/11 attacks were carried out by Al-Qaeda.
Handle the truth.
I remember that with Matthew Moses. We are still here!
We have to say yes to socialism.
No, tomorrow. It's a big club.
You ain't in it.
Gives me the warm, fuzzy tinglies all over every time. Just watching all the douchebags say their douche things, and then hearing George Carlin speak some truth. All right.
I thought it was the other way around. I thought these were all the things you believed in.
Oh, absolutely.
And you threw George Carlin in there to mix it up just a little bit.
I mean, I feel like people can watch that and know which side of each thing that is said we stand on. Like, I certainly agree with Martin Luther King Jr. when he says, judge people by the content, not by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character and all that. But most of it is, it's what's happening in the world, which is what we're here to discuss. And before we get into things, I got to remind you guys, we keep forgetting to bring it up, but if you would like to call into the show, even though we're doing this as a pre-record, you can call in and leave a voicemail, and we will play it live on the show. Even if you want to be a jerk, even if you want to be a douchebag, you can call in, tell us how bad we are, and I will play it on the show. Even if you want to call in and be like, hey, have you guys heard my podcast? I know there's a few of you out there who listen to this who are itching to find some free promo. Throw it up there. We'll play it at least once. Be like, hey, you know, if you're cool enough to listen to the show and call in and leave a voicemail, I'll give you some free promo quickly. No harm in that. We're just a chill, fun, laid-back time here, but you can call in. If you're listening to this in audio, you can call in to 309-716-3818. Or if you're watching this on YouTube, I'm trying to point to it down at the bottom of the screen, 309-716-3818, and I'll leave that up for a minute so you guys can write it down. But again, that number is 309-716-3818. Call now. Craig, do you want to kick off with the first story, or would you like me to? Because I've got a bunch.
Oh, I've got several. Here, I'll kick it off with our good favorite power couple in the world, Billary. We're just gonna call him Billary.
I was thinking the same thing.
I mean, you got to put him in one because it was Bill in the limelight for like 2 decades,
yeah,
at least
people
a decade.
Feeling sorry for
half.
Hillary for not having the limelight and just being the co-pilot who had to change her last name to make him look better because she didn't want to change her last name to his name. Blah blah blah. Poor Hillary. But now we all know that she's
I think her first ticket. I think her first ticket against John Kerry. I think she ran the first time. Way back in the day, she went by Hillary Rodham Clinton. I think that was solely actually to kind of distance herself from the Clinton name because things were still a little sour about the whole Bill Clinton shit.
Before Bill was even in office, she was going by Hillary Rodham, and I think before he was even in lower office, she was just going by Hillary Rodham, and then everybody told her, you need to, put the Clinton name on there so that people know that you're in support of him and that you guys are working together and you're not like some sort of pantsuit lesbian or something secretly. You have to pretend like you're
ever think that.
Right. You have to pretend like you guys are a happy couple, and turns out, I mean, I don't even look at them really as a couple. I look at them as the two heads of the same evil dragon. Two with more to come and more heads on there, like all the rest of them. But anyway, what's our girl Hill up to these days?
So Bill and Hillary Clinton are now, because they went on their speaking tour. Remember, they were charging like hundreds of dollars a night. It's like $287. No, it's $287
to attend
for a normal ticket. Yes.
Okay, yeah. I thought you meant that's what they charge to come speak. No.
No, is their like ticket price
admission
for an
for
individual to attend? Yes. Says on Fox News, it says Bill and Hillary Clinton are selling discounted tickets on Groupon after sparse crowds on speaking tour.
Aww.
Does it get any lower than that?
Yes. Please make us feel relevant. Please. Yeah, I've heard about her numbers even after, like, Trump's numbers are still booming, of course. And, like, as far as, like, doing these speeches and events and stuff, rallies, if you want to call them that. But Billary is putting together these, like, amphitheater shows, which is just them speaking. Who's going out to listen to them speak to begin with? Why would they think that people are going to now, of all times?
The only thing people would go to listen to is to bitch about Donald Trump, because that's the only thing people really care to listen, that would possibly be in support of her, would really care to hear her say, is just to bitch more about Donald Trump.
And I know that Trump's rallies, at least leading up to the election, I don't know, do we know if he's charging for his rallies now or not? Because I know that his were free before. I assume that hers were free leading up to it too, but I would imagine his are probably not $250 a pop, and he's probably not scrambling to Groupon to make money.
So this says discounted tickets for at least 9 an evening with the Clintons event. Doesn't that sound like so homey and
Sounds like rape and murder.
right.
A quiet evening with the Clintons, where you will come and want to shoot yourself twice in the back of the head.
Says tickets have appeared on the Groupon website, which offers discounted deals on activities, goods, and services. On Monday, discounted tickets were being offered in a number of Democratic-friendly locations, including New York, Detroit, Philadelphia, and Boston. So they're putting these on sale not in areas where you wouldn't think they'd get a lot of support, but in predominantly Democratic areas.
Yeah.
It says among the deals, tickets to the April 11th talk at the Beacon Theater in New York, normally priced at $287, are going for $145 on Monday.
Which is still retarded. Like, that's a ridiculous price to go listen to Bill and Hillary talk.
Detroit was listed at $220, is now going for $95, and Philadelphia was reduced from $208 to $85. That's quite the knockdown there.
Yeah.
It says Groupon is apparently working. Tickets to a May 4th appearance in Inglewood, California, that were normally priced $77, which is more reasonable, and reduced to $35 a pop, were sold out by Monday. Yeah, because they $35 a pop, not $287 or even the $145 discount. I still don't think anybody's going to buy the $145 ones.
No. They'll be 75% off next week. You said this is in April, so they've still got tons of time to keep dropping it down quietly and hoping that nobody notices.
It's April and May, because that one that sold out was May 4th in Inglewood, California. So, yeah, there's a little bit of time, but they must not have
and only $35 a piece.
They must not have a ton of hope for it if they're already dropping prices in December and it's not for 4 more months.
Yep.
Says the Texas, hang on. Says, oh, that's a completely, is that a different article? Oh, this is another article within the article. The struggling Clinton tour took a break after Bush's death, Poppy Bush. And it delayed their Texas stop. So that's a whole different story. So yeah, what I just read you is literally the article. Tickets are going.
Tickets are on sale. Cool. Speaking of Poppy Bush, I don't know if this is like actual news, like if this is getting around the mainstream circles or not, but you saw the bizarre, strange envelope stuff that's going around with the funeral, right?
I saw a little bit of it, and I saw Jeb Bush's overly large head on the video, but I don't really know what was going on with it.
So did you see where the video where Hillary takes she opens up her whatever pamphlet thing and an envelope falls out?
Yeah.
And
what was that?
We don't know. And apparently, who also had one?
I didn't see who
one of the other people on their team. There's video of them getting the same. Well, we can only assume the same envelope.
Would it say you're next?
Well, yeah, it's like the conspiracy people and even the political people are speculating what the hell this is, because Hillary opens it up. She did not expect this envelope to be there. Jimmy Carter's sitting next to her, and like she's like awkwardly opening this envelope, and he's like peeking over at it, trying to see what it is. It looks like.
It's like, why didn't I get an envelope?
Yeah. And real quick, while I look up who had the other one, it's just strange.
My comments.
Some people have said that it's probably like some of the conspiracy people are like, it's just like a picture of them at like one of their rituals or something, at Bohemian Grove or something crazy like. This is what we have, and we can put this out there. I hope it's something like that. I hope it's some sort of a threat, just like, hey, just so you know.
We found this in Poppy Bush's nightstand after he passed away. Do you know anything about this? Oh, shit.
It was Joe Biden also received an envelope. So Hillary and Joe, and then Jeb looks like whoever is standing. Who is that standing next to him? That shows him the paper.
Next to Jib?
Yeah.
The woman? Is that Nancy Pelosi? I didn't. I don't remember. I don't have it in front of me right now.
It might be, but yeah, I believe Nancy Pelosi shows Jeb, like there's just video of them all singing a song, and he has his hand over his heart or whatever as the soldiers pass by, and she shows him a piece of paper, and he just has this look of complete and utter disgust and disappointment, and puts his hand down right after. So
I just assumed he didn't know the words to the song, and she had it on her piece of paper, and she was showing it to him.
No, that's what some people have said. But if you look at the video, like nobody else is singing, including Nancy Pelosi. She's not singing a song. The people behind them aren't singing a song.
If that's who it is, we probably sound really stupid.
No,
because it might not be her.
It looks like that's who it is. Yeah. Yes, it is.
My comments on the funeral, which I texted you, so you've heard these. First of all, how the hell is Jimmy Carter still alive?
Right.
Like, the guy hasn't been president late 90s, maybe? Jimmy Carter.
Jimmy Carr comes up first. Jimmy Carter is...
Old,
yes.
Jimmy Carter
94.
was born...
94. Yeah. So he's like the same age as George H.W. almost.
You're cutting out.
I said he was the same age
yes.
as George H.W. was what, 95 when he died?
Something like that, 95, 96, something like that. But Jimmy Carter, as of not too many years ago, was still like traveling to North Korea and stuff like that. It's just like, how's that guy still moving around?
Right.
And then my next question was, how does Bill still have such luscious hair at his age?
HW is 94 too. They're both the same age, but Jimmy Carter looks a lot better in my opinion.
Right. They didn't cut off his supply of baby blood apparently. Right. My other comment about it, which is, I mean, maybe too soon, but
there's no such thing.
George W. Bush gave his eulogy, or whatever you want to call it. Mm-hmm. It was pretty heart-wrenching, like seeing him hold back tears and stuff like that, and he actually did a fairly good job with it. Except...
Are you saying a fairly good job of pretending to hold back tears? Is that what you're getting at, Craig?
Of his speech, no. Except he got to the point, he went to say that he was talking about when his father gave his first now I'm going to have a hard time saying it, inaugural address. Inaugural address. Then in true G.W. Bush fashion, he said, when he gave his inaugural address, I was man. Way to stay true to your true inner Bush.
Keep the dream alive, man. Keep the dream alive.
In his inaugural address. And I even rewound it like 3 times to make sure I didn't hear him stumble over his words or something. But no, it was definitely what he said. So go back and listen to it. It's quite humorous.
I'll have to check it out. I haven't actually watched any of the footage except for the little clips that people have pointed out about the shady shit, but I'm sure there's probably more that we're missing. But, tis what it isn't. But do you have anything else on that, or do you want to move on?
You see the part where they dedicated his corpse to Satan?
Oh, yeah. No, I missed that part, actually.
You should go back and watch that part. It was, I mean, I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist, but it was a little creepy.
Did you notice, well, actually, I heard rumor that it was going to be a closed casket because he got shot, actually, and that's what killed him in, the face. And okay, there's a lot of theories floating around, as our people do. But was it open or closed casket? Do you know?
I am not sure.
Look it up. Look it up real quick before we move on.
I shall.
But yeah, I heard some of the conspiracy people saying, I mean, there's people out there that still think JFK Jr. is alive, and
he's living in the form of that crazy Trump guy driving the Trump van around.
There's a couple different theories, yeah. And there's speculation, just the same as there was with McCain, where it's like this guy had to go. I mean, the dude was 94. I don't know, there's some things where I'm like, oh, that's shady, but it's like, if a dude dies of old age at a really old age, then it's going to take a lot more to convince me that there was something else going on there, because why wouldn't this have happened sooner? It is a little interesting that it happened very shortly after the 55-year anniversary of the JFK assassination, but yeah, there's some people saying that HW got shot to death, which
would be fitting if he shot.
Yeah.
So I see no photos of his open casket. I see lots of photos of a closed casket. So one in particular, a picture
100% debunked, or no, 100% confirmed.
Yes.
JFK Jr. is alive, and he killed George H.W.
That's possible.
Yeah, I guess.
Here's one in particular of it's George W. Bush with his wife, and then somebody else I can't see in this picture because it's not zoomed in. Standing next to the closed casket. So the one picture that I've seen with George Jr. and George W. with the casket was a closed casket. It looks almost like Franklin Graham, maybe, with him.
Surprise,
which wouldn't
surprise.
surprise me. Yeah. But
Yep.
I could be wrong. Like I said, it's not a very good. It's a pretty small picture.
Yep.
So there's that.
That is. There that
Wait,
is.
No. Okay, so this picture, I lied. I don't want to give anybody false things. This is actually George W. at Billy Graham's funeral at a closed casket, which is even fishier. But I still I have yet to see an open I typed G.W. Bush's casket, G.W. Bush open casket. I haven't seen anything.
Interesting. Maybe something. Probably not, but interesting nonetheless. Keeping with the politics theme, we've got to move along to Mr. Donald J. Trump, president. This comes from Newsweek.com, so you know it's legit. Take a second, make sure you've got your focus on me real quick as I read this headline out loud to you. These are real words in a real headline posted on Newsweek.com. Donald Trump will resign presidency within 10 minutes left in term so Mike Pence can pardon him.
This was one of my stories.
Conservative columnist predicts.
This was one of my stories.
What's funny is that the conservative columnist predicts does not come up when you read the headline on the little the news app and stuff like that. It just comes up with Donald Trump will resign presidency.
I know. I saw that too. I was like, wait, what?
What are you talking about?
What popped up over the week that I didn't hear about?
Right. So this is a pretty short article. I can break it down a little bit, but basically this columnist, I'll just read it. In the wake of Robert Mueller's release of key court filings in the Russian probe on Friday, conservative columnist Jennifer Rubin, I like how they keep saying conservative, she should be a Trump supporter. No, there's tons of conservatives that hate Donald Trump. Right. Conservative columnist Jennifer Rubin said Sunday that President Donald Trump would pull an unusual last-minute move to protect himself from political legal action. Quote, I would predict here on MSNBC that when Trump leaves office, he will resign the presidency 10 minutes before Mike Pence leaves office, allowing Pence to pardon him if there is not a Republican president to follow him, Rubin told Network's AM Joy program. So not only is she saying she's saying this very definitively that he's going to do that. She's also saying definitively he is guilty of everything that we have not really proven yet. Clearly she's not a Trump supporter because she's saying with the same evidence that the rest of us have, he is 100% guilty of something treasonous, and if he gets out of office, he will be thrown into prison. Right.
Well, what I read, let me see if it's in here. Yeah, it's not even about the the collusion and stuff like that. If you go down, you're on the Newsweek article.
Yeah.
If you scroll down past the picture of Trump, is talking about his proposition to build a hotel in Russia before he ran for presidency. Says she also blasted remarks from Senator Rand Paul, who earlier questioned whether Trump had broken any laws over plans to build a hotel in Russia. It says, I don't see what's illegal. This is Rand Paul. I don't see what's illegal about trying to build a hotel in Russia. This is pretty common, and I see no problem with it. Now, if you're asking and saying, I will give you something in exchange for letting us build a hotel, that would be wrong. But I haven't heard any evidence of that. So
me neither.
People are basically saying he's trading this for this great big hotel for Russia favors and stuff.
I mean, come on. He's a businessman. He's built businesses in other countries that we're not necessarily friendly with before. Who cares? And again, she is saying that he is guilty of something treasonous. What is it exactly?
Here's her comment. Rubin called Rand Paul's comment shameful, saying, this is her definitive evidence here. I think there was a $50 million penthouse, if I remember it correctly, that was going to be offered to Vladimir Putin. Yep. And then she goes on to say, the president has been implicated in a crime. If Rand Paul wants to say Republicans are no longer in favor of holding the president to the same standard of law we hold ordinary citizens, that is his right. But I think this kind of willful ignorance really is beneath someone who is in the United States Senate.
What's the crime? What's the crime that the American citizens should also be persecuted for? What is it exactly?
If they had more to go off of, if they had more to go off, if it was like they had
same
serious
as everything
evidence,
else. There's nothing.
If there was serious evidence saying, oh, he was going to trade this amazing penthouse to Vladimir Putin in exchange for changing votes or something like that, then yes, that is a crime and he should be held accountable. But for her comments to just be, I think I heard one time
that it might be this number, it might be something else.
If I remember correctly.
Yeah, I don't know. And as always, not a Trump not a Trump enthusiast, at least. I will support anybody who is in office I will support them to make good decisions, but I'm not a Trump guy, and these people just keep forcing me to defend a guy that I disagree with, because you're just making outlandish allegations about nothing, and then you're making outlandish allegations with the evidence of your new allegations. The only evidence that you have is what you made up to begin with. Like, you're saying that he's going to leave 10 minutes early. First off, what, really? You think that all that could happen in 10 minutes? I mean, are we taking you literally, or are you just talking out your ass? Because 10 minutes early, and you think that all the paperwork's going to go through where Pence is just immediately in place, and then he has the ability to pardon him within 10 minutes? Like, come on. Mm-hmm. Also, if Trump is doing something treasonous right now, and all of these the Russian probe filing, blah, 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 if all that stuff is going to reveal that he is a treasonous person, what makes you think that he is not going to get indicted and arrested long before he gets to that point? Like common citizens aren't able, or are more able to be arrested, or what?
Yeah, well, she addressed that. Let's see. Says, agreeing with panelist and post-op-ed writer, blah, 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 some person. Rubin also said Democrats would have a moral obligation to try to impeach Trump if evidence emerged he had committed an impeachable offense.
Sure.
But she also said making such a move would be politically unwise. Well, they should impeach him, but it'd be politically unwise.
For who?
She says you wouldn't be able to remove him, and it would infuriate. Wow, that was bad.
Infuriate
a good chunk of the American people. So what do you do if you really are caught in that position where there's overwhelming evidence of wrongdoing, of criminal wrongdoing? You impeach him if there is that much.
That's why there is that option.
They have a moral obligation, but it would be politically unwise.
That doesn't make any sense at all. Not at all. Like, if you feel, why are we doing all this stuff? Why are we making up all these stories and these terrible, terrible things that Trump does? If we actually had evidence, we're not going to impeach him? We're going to wait till he gets out? Like, no, obviously you're going to impeach him if you had the evidence. But please present it, and then we can talk.
Basically, it probably comes down to money. They can't get, like, financial. They could probably somehow form a, what's it called? Like more of a lawsuit afterwards and get financial money out of him. You can't get anything and milk a guy dry when he's the president. I mean, it's not going to happen. Let's wait till he gets out of office. Then we'll we'll drop the criminal charges and bring litigation or whatever it is. I can't think of what it's called, where it's just the thing that O.J. Simpson was actually found guilty of and had to pay out his ass, even though he didn't go to jail for killing people. But yeah, it's just ridiculous. I can't imagine if it was as big of a deal as they are screaming that it is, then how can you possibly say that it's politically unwise to do so? Right. Yes, it will infuriate at least 50%.
Bill Clinton got a blowjob.
Yeah, he was brought up about impeachment.
If we come up with something on Trump, go for it. Like let's throw him under the bus. If he's done something terrible and treasonous, let's do it. I am all in favor, but please present the evidence. And kind of on the same topic, and also from Newsweek.com, so you know it's legit. Are all their headlines like just ridiculously long? Because this one is,
trying as much clickbait as possible.
Right.
How many words can we throw in to get more people to look?
Search engine optimization. Kill it, guys. What is Louisiana's, quote, baby stripper law? Stormy Daniels leads group of sex workers protesting outside state capitol. Did you hear about any of this?
I saw... Excuse me while I blow out vape. I saw the headline underneath this article we were just reading, but I didn't look into it.
Yep, that's where I got it from, too. A group of protesters gathered outside of Louisiana State Capitol on Sunday in opposition to a new law that requires female strippers in the state to be at least 21 years old, BuzzFeed News reported. Among 36 or so workers protested the law. In Baton Rouge was Stormy Daniels, real name Stephanie Clifford, the stripper and adult actress used loosely, who alleged, what are you pretending to be, Stormy Daniels?
I mean, if she's an actress, we're journalists.
Exactly. I always love the porn star, porn actress. Like, what are you acting like? A porn star? Because that's what you are. I'm an actor. I'm acting like Dan Smuts reporting on this story. Anyway, Stormy Daniels, who allegedly had an affair with President Donald Trump, critics of what has been dubbed the, quote, baby stripper law, which is the worst name ever, and that's exactly why they named it that.
Right. Why would you... Oh, it's the people against it?
Yes. It's just like, pro-life, pro-choice. They got to make it sound the best or the worst.
It was the people who are protesting against it, calling it the baby stripper law. It's like, that's not really a good fight for your case.
I mean, nobody's calling people 18 to 21 babies, so I'm not sure why it's called the baby stripper law. But they say that the bill unfairly, the critics of the law say the bill unfairly targets women and could push many young strippers into prostitution by removing an important source of income. I feel like that's a bit of an overstatement because McDonald's still employs women ages 18 to 21. If you gotta, flip some burgers and serve some fries for a couple years until you can take your clothes off for money, just go right ahead and do that.
Accept tips at McDonald's.
Hey, this is Gret Glyer.
Oh no, sorry, I pressed a button, and Gret Glyer started talking. But people don't make it rain on McDonald's employees for some reason.
I can't imagine why.
This is a quote from Stormy herself. Not only is the law unconstitutional, it's fucking sexist. Daniels...
It's unconstitutional.
Hold on. It's not only unconstitutional, it's sexist. Daniels, a Baton Rouge native, told protesters on Sunday, according to BuzzFeed, quote, again from her, it specifically targets female dancers, not male entertainers. Yup. You know why? Because guess who most of the strippers are?
Well, so the law specifically states female?
No, it doesn't. It's just because, I assume she certainly can't make an argument that it's that. I mean, they might say it's bad for women because most of the strippers are women. Yes. It's like if you were targeting a field that is predominantly men, like the socialists do, when they complain about men being CEOs of companies and stuff, and we should take away their money because they're too rich. That's pretty sexist to me, I think, if this is. But it specifically targets female dancers, not male entertainers. How such a law can get passed in this day and age is mind-boggling and insulting to every female out there, whether you work in the adult entertainment industry or not.
How is there...
Explain.
How is there age restrictions on alcohol consumption? And I bet you could look at the statistics and find that there's more alcohol consumption.
More underage males.
Males versus females, or the other side. If one is like 58% and the other is 42%, you could claim the same thing. Be like, oh, that's targeting primarily males or females because... and it's sexist because mostly males under the age of 21 drink. Or the same with driving. I mean, we have age restrictions on driving. We have age restrictions on work in general.
Yeah.
We have age restrictions on when employees can sell alcohol. That's not drinking alcohol. So you have to be, I think, 18 to sell alcohol.
It's ageism at the very least.
Right. So
she goes on to
how
say,
can you say it's unconstitutional when there are age restrictions on
I have
loads
no
of other
freaking clue.
things?
And I will say that I'm not in favor of this law, but I am also not in favor of idiot arguments against it.
There's age restrictions on attending strip clubs.
Exactly. Yep. She continues, if this law had gone into effect when I was 18 here in Louisiana, I would have missed out on many of the opportunities that were afforded to me to become a successful businesswoman and to escape the very dangerous situation I grew up in. Hold on. Before I rant about this, I got to jump down to, I'm just going to read her quotes because there's a bunch of stuff in here that I'm sure it doesn't matter. She continues, if I would never have had dancing in my life, I wouldn't be in the best place. The New Orleans-based woman who identified herself simply as I guess it's not her. It's somebody who identifies as Charlie, so you know it's legit, told BuzzFeed. Continued, quote,
Better than cinnamon.
I have younger siblings who are my main concern, and I have put my life on hold so they wouldn't have to continue the abuse that I had to go through. I love them like they're my own children. This is totally 100% anecdotal. Yes, there are some people who they think all they can do is prostitute, sell drugs, or strip. One of these is legal, and so we're going to act like you're a hero because you did something that was positive with something that was kind of gross and you probably don't feel great about it. I mean, I don't care. You do what you want. I think all three of those things should be legal as a libertarian, but stop pretending like you as a stripper, that makes you this champion of women and this hero to society because you did something good with it. Most people drop out of college and end up stripping and selling drugs and prostituting all at once because it's an easy escape and an easy form of money. Again, I'm fine with that. I don't encourage it, but I'm fine with it. I think it should be legal, and you should have the rights to your own body and to do with that what you want. But I mean, I don't know. If there was like some guy who said, I had to take care of my family, so I had to sell drugs, and my sister had to be a prostitute to pay for our family, we wouldn't be looking at them and saying, good on you, man. Good on you. You're doing the Lord's work. Like, just cut the crap.
I want to be a hitman to support my
well, that's a different story.
Siblings.
I don't support hitmen.
But back to what I said about the age restrictions on attending strip clubs. Predominantly, men go to strip clubs.
Right.
So that's sexism.
It's sexist against men. And there's the amount of men that go to strip clubs is way higher than the amount of strippers.
I mean, think of all those men if they weren't allowed. The men under 18 who aren't allowed into strip clubs, they have to.
Or the men that only want to see 18 to 21-year-olds.
Right. No. Gross. But yeah,
I mean, it's fine.
They have to
They're
resort
adults.
to alternative methods like Stormy Daniels videos and stuff like that. I mean, think of what you're putting them through.
That is the most disgusting form of sexism ever.
I know. Ugh. So it's unconstitutional that you would subject 16-year-old males to those videos when they should have the constitutional right to attend strip clubs.
Yeah, I still am. I'm at a loss for words how you can call this unconstitutional. Should it be the case?
Which amendment? I want to know which amendment she's basing this off.
If she's arguing for that, she's got to be arguing for prostitution, drugs, and all the stuff to be illegal. Because, I mean, that's, like you said, age restrictions on everything. This is not something new. If the thing changes, fine. And, I mean, she's acting like she couldn't have possibly figured out a way to get from 18 to 21 if she wasn't able to take her clothes off for money.
Exactly.
She would be in a gutter somewhere if she wasn't able to strip and be a successful businesswoman.
That is such a, wealthy, yes, but a successful businesswoman. Now, come on, we're stretching the word here.
I don't know how much of the clerical work she does behind the scenes, but I'm guessing she's got an agent and a manager and everybody to do that stuff for her, and she's just a person who...
No, she's independent now, I betcha. She's honorable.
Okay. Now that our good buddy Avenatti has fled the scene.
Why does she keep coming up?
I don't know. Just go
Why
away.
do we keep seeing her name?
Just go back to what you do best.
You are not a good example of a champion for women.
No.
But
there will be coloring books someday of strong, empowered females, and naked 50-year-old Stormy Daniels will be included in that feminist coloring book. All right,
so
let's move on.
In other news, another favorite champion of women, our good favorite Senator Ocasio-Cortez. You remember her?
I've heard,
Alexandria.
Yes.
The New York senator, or soon-to-be senator, who felt that we should pay for her apartment before she took office.
Currently, her title is homeless person, I believe.
Yeah. Well, she apparently revealed over the week that she is... Are you ready for this?
Please.
She came out as... What?
She a lesbian or something now, or what?
She's Jewish.
Ah, okay.
Mm-hmm. Right. Jump on that wagon. Guess who she revealed it to? A group of Jewish people, surprisingly.
Okay.
Says Representative-elect Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. It's just the things people admit to at weird times. It's like, why did you even have to... Yes, it's an article on NBC.
Why do we care?
Yeah, NBC News.
What religion she believes? I mean, she's already got the minority. She's slightly darker skinned, and she's a female, so she's got the minority checkboxes checked off. Okay,
yeah, she's Puerto Rican.
Puerto Rican, sure, yeah.
Says
getting another one in there.
Representative-elect Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez of New York made a surprise revelation. Spoiler alert! In case you missed the movie.
I think we need to shorten up her name, too, to like Alex Co. or something.
I'm just going to call her, I don't know, Cortez. I don't know. But that's probably racist for not giving her full given name.
Go ahead.
Made a surprise revelation to a progressive Jewish group on the final night of Hanukkah on Sunday. She traces her ancestry back to 15th century Sephardic Jews. That's how far back we're talking here.
I don't know if that's a long time ago or recent. I don't know how Jewish history works.
15th century?
Oh, yeah, okay. I heard 15th something else.
Not generations, 15th century. So we're talking probably borderline that one woman that claimed to be Native American. I can't even think who that was now. That's how...
I'm so bad with names.
I don't even care now.
You guys know. It's Pocahontas.
It says, speaking at an event organized by Jews, I don't think you're allowed to say that.
Well, if you don't say it with the
for
stank
racial
on
and
it,
economic
it's fine.
justice.
Organized by Jews.
Organized by Jews for racial and economic justice at the Jackson Heights Jewish Center in Queens, the rising Democratic star.
Yep.
The rising I got to repeat that for effect. The rising Democratic
it's the same
star
as a porn star. Like, star in what way? What'd you do? What'd you do?
She's the female Obama. Didn't you know that? I mean, we talk about that. Drew cheers with the revelation, which she told Haaretz, I don't know who that is, was the first time she had, probably whoever the journalist was, she told Haaretz was the first time she had spoken publicly about her family's Jewish heritage. So why did you feel the need to bring it up now? Why?
Were you ashamed before?
Yeah,
like,
I know.
That seems that seems really shady. It's the first time I've ever said that I come from a line of Jews. It's like, what were you trying to hide before, and why are you bringing it up now?
Probably trying to not get the same backlash that what's-her-face Pocahontas got by claiming to be Native American. But reacting
so is it like
to
Jewish faith, or is it like, bloodline?
It's bloodline.
Okay.
I'll get
well,
to
then
there.
Who cares?
It says
Who cares either way? But who cares?
exactly. But it says so people they were cheering and stuff like that, and when she looked back on it, looking back at the audience's reaction, she says, "I knew it. I sensed it." That they were going to be thrilled by this. Like, all you were doing is trying to connect to another group.
She admits that she knew that they would be all in favor of it because
I mean, that's why
would be
the only reason.
Another check mark in her pros box.
Why else? Why wouldn't she get up there? Like, why wouldn't she just announce that or disclose that when she started running or something like that? If it wasn't,
I mean,
an obvious.
I'm not
move
saying she had to disclose it.
Event.
Yeah, I'm not saying she had to disclose. I don't care. Like, I didn't care before. I don't care now. I'm just wondering why now. Like, why wasn't it a known thing throughout your life? Why would it have to be a revelation, like coming out of the closet as a Jew? That seems a little strange.
So here's her explanation. It says, one of the things that we discovered about ourselves is that a very, very long time ago, generations and generations ago, my family consisted of Sephardic Jews, she said, referring to the Jews who are originally from Spain or the Iberian Peninsula. And the story goes that during the Spanish Inquisition, so many people were forced to convert on the exterior to Catholicism, but on the interior continued to practice their faith. You're not telling me you continue to be a practicing Jew, because you'd have some pride in that. You'd have some pride in that, and did you? But it says, continued to be who they were, even though they were pressured to not be that on the outside world. Ocasio-Cortez, who made the comments after it does sound like she's coming out of the closet as being gay.
Right.
Like, yeah. On the inside I was, but I was forced to live a heterosexual lifestyle on the outside.
You were celebrating Hanukkah. That's a almost 100% widely accepted thing in America. It's fine. Like, why are you acting like this is a new thing for you? The people that you're talking about, they had persecution. Great. What does that have to do with this story?
Says Ocasio-Cortez, who made the comments after lighting Hanukkah candles, said some of those practitioners fled Spain, with some landing in Puerto Rico, where she descends from. Ocasio-Cortez added that the lineage showed that so many of our destinies are tied. She's trying to get in on that Jew money, I'm just saying.
So many of our destinies are tied. Oh, so you're saying you can relate to me now. This group of people are tied. My destiny was one day I would reveal to you the very important thing, that is my relatives were Jewish. Okay.
And she decided on the Twitters, to get ahead of the the scrutiny about it, because her first post the next morning says, before everyone's an anti-Semite. It says, okay, so one of my articles here is going to be about people bashing on Trump for misspelling on Twitter and calling him a freaking idiot, literally calling him an idiot. But this says, before everyone jumps won me.
Oh.
What an idiot. She's dumb. She's just dumb. We can't even listen to her now because she had a typo.
And that's what they say, yeah.
She says, before everyone jumps on me, yes, culture isn't DNA, but to be Puerto Rican is to be the descendant of African Moors plus slaves, Taino Indians, Spanish colonizers, Jewish refugees, and likely others.
Okay.
We are all of these things. That's still DNA. That's not your
We all
culture.
have ancestors who went through some shit in their life.
Right. We might have
that doesn't have anything to do with
ancestors who are Jewish.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, we have German ancestors. There are lots and lots of Jews dwelled in Germany, as we know based on what they tell us about the Holocaust. So it says, we are all of these things and something else all at once. We are Boricua. What the hell does that mean? Must be some Puerto Rican or Jewish thing. I don't know. Define
two very different things. It must be one of the two of those.
It means it's Puerto Rican. So it's Spanish for Puerto Rican.
Okay.
So it's what the Puerto Ricans call themselves. So she's basically saying, no, it's not my culture. Is what it sounds like to me. Yes, I know it's more than just DNA, but Puerto Ricans are made of this, and this. We're Puerto Rican.
Okay.
So you are Puerto Rican. You're not 15 centuries ago or 15th century Jewish. You are Puerto Rican, just like we are.
She was born in America, right?
It just says she descends from Puerto Rico, so I'm guessing her family came from Puerto Rico, but I'm guessing she was from America.
Well, I mean, I've heard a little bit of just predictions and people saying she'll eventually run for president because people just love her and eat up every mistyped word that she tweets. So I'm guessing that she's born in America. But why don't you go ahead and jump into, unless you have more on that, why don't you jump into the Trump one real quick, the tweet, before we get into the short break here, because we're getting a little long-winded and we're at about an hour. You're muted. You're muted.
So this comes from the most legit news source. What do you think it's going to be?
HuffPo?
Of all the news sources we've ever reported on, what's your favorite?
Huffington Post, of course.
Wrong.
Oh.
The Root.
CNN.
Root.
Oh man. They're so bad I don't even consider them a news source, so it didn't even trigger in my brain.
So the Root says, this is the headline, it's official. The president is an idiot.
Oh, well, I'm convinced.
And this tweet is his quote-unquote smocking gun.
Oh, God.
Why? Because of this tweet. This is the tweet right here. Democrats, this is by Donald Trump, Donald J. Trump, at Real Donald Trump. Democrats can't find a smocking gun tying the Trump campaign to Russia after James Comey's testimony. No smocking gun. He said it twice.
Okay.
He said it twice.
That's the story, right?
Yes.
That's the whole story. It's typo. Double typo.
It is. But I want to just read because she had that one misquote. He says it twice in his, which is funny, but he capitalizes it, so it's almost like it's intentional.
All right, Q followers and Q peeps, dig into this. There's something here because he does. Yeah,
He did smocking gun twice, capitalized both smocking and gun.
They can make fun of it all they want, but there's been other tweets that he's put out that are misspelled, and the Q peeps dig into it, and they're like, actually, he meant this, and that was not a typo. That was not a mistake. I'm not sure where I stand on that, but look into that.
This here seems really, really,
2 and 1,
really deliberate.
2 and 1 seems a little suspicious.
And to be both capitalized, it's not like all caps like he's yelling. He specifically capitalized smocking and capitalized gun. It says
that's not a mistake for sure.
Right. President Donald J. Trump is a signed card-carrying rage tweeter. Normally, when he's rage tweeting about the Russian investigation, it's easy to look past his grammar because it's amusing to see him folding under the pressure of the investigation in real time. But early Monday morning, before the president donned his caftan made from the hides of infant seals, and even before he this is stupid, and even before he drank his full chalice of goat's blood, he was up.
We're the
angry.
Crazy ones, right?
Right. He was up angry, tweeting in a full sweaty rage. That's funny to think about. Also because
it's like shirtless, just overheating in briefs. Good old tidy whities.
Also because his tweets went out in the morning. Presumably, he didn't have time to wake his Russian hooker to see if she could spell check it for him. So the president tweeted this. And
this is less legit. They actually claim to be journalists, and this is less legit commentary than even what we do.
Right. So it says, yep, that's a presidential tweet that will be archived to prove the tipping point of America's fall. All I can hear is that one woman on the Roots video channel that you reviewed.
Yeah.
The fact that the president misspelled smoking as smocking twice proves that he didn't know how to spell smoking.
You've got to be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me.
Wow, it took a genius to write that sentence. Can we really blame him? Technically, it's a 7-letter word that includes a suffix and requires the dropping of the E to add the ing. While that's not the part that he flubbed, those words can be difficult. This is so condescending. I hate this
everything
woman.
That they put out.
This got to be a woman. Not to be sexist.
Everything that they put out.
No, it's Stephen Crockett.
Everything they put out, all their videos, are so jump to conclusions and just double, triple, quadruple down on really bad statements and nothing at all.
Says, let's not get it caught up on the president's inability to spell. What's more shocking is that the president is fully admitting to paying for porn actress Stormy Daniels' service by calling it a simple private transaction. Because
it was.
That's what it was.
Also, I like that she said, or he said, let's not, I mean, this isn't about his misspelling. That's literally what this is about 100%.
Right.
Like you wrote a whole article about that, and the headline was that.
Yeah, the first 2 paragraphs were 3 paragraphs.
Let's not focus
were about
on
that.
This whole article. I agree.
Now
let's not focus on it.
Yeah, the fourth paragraph is saying, well, it's actually about this. For those keeping score, the shifting rationale on payment for Stormy's service. The shifting rationale on payment for Stormy's services has shifted from there is no there to there is a there, and she smacked my ass with a rolled up Ford magazine. What?
What is happening? Did they have a stroke in the middle of writing this article?
I don't know.
I would call that the smocking gun.
Trump is getting ready to fold like a lawn chair that can't spell, and of course...
Most lawn chairs can't. What a terrible analogy. Like a lawn chair that can't spell. As opposed to your typical very literate lawn chair.
Of course, the internet is having a field day with this dumbass president. Below are a few of my favorites, and it just lists...
I don't
relist that one again, of course.
I don't care.
So... yeah, there's that condescending bullshit.
Yeah, I think that's a good call for a break here. I need a drink, especially after that article, and in our typical fashion, I could rant for a half an hour just about that, but I don't think that they've earned it. I really don't. All it would be is me saying, "You freaking moron," over and over and over again, because if people want to give actual evidence as to why Donald Trump is a terrible person, please. But their stuff is the weakest attempt at it. He misspelled a word.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Also, let's not focus on the thing that we're here to talk about, because he's also a bad guy, we'll say, with no reason to justify that.
Let's not forget that what we're really talking about is this.
Well, write an article about that then, maybe, and make that the headline, but that won't get you the same search engine optimization as saying Donald Trump's dumb.
So, the word smocking in urbandictionary.com refers to body painting for sexual gratification. I almost think he intentionally threw it in there. Not necessarily for like a hint or a clue. It could be more poking fun of the fact that it's not a smoking gun.
Sure.
He could have been just like throwing it out there to mean something else.
Yep.
I'm not saying it means a body painting for sexual pleasure, but I mean,
there's something there in my opinion.
Knows? Somebody find that.
Yep. Look into it. We'll give you a quick break here to give shout-outs to people who support the show financially and the Downers Club, where we will be posting the after party where we will continue this episode. It's every episode of this is a double episode. We do an after party where we continue ranting about the news. So if you'd like to get that bonus, if you'd like to get a couple other bonus episodes every single week, you can go over to patreon.com/The System Is Down and sign up for as little as $5 a month. That is 1 cup of coffee a month that you might have to cut, or 1 drink at a bar that you might have to cut, and I guarantee you won't even notice that it's gone, and you will notice that you get a bunch of great things, and you get interactive time with Craig and I, and a special forum, and a whole bunch of other stuff. So go check out the packages and all the stuff at patreon.com/The System Is Down. If you're listening to this, there's no audio of the names, but you can watch online if you want to see your name on the list. These are the people that keep us going. But here you go.
Hey, this is Brett Glyer from Donorcy, and you are watching AntiNews Live.
Hi, this is Ole Dammergood from Light on Conspiracies, and you are watching AntiNews Live.
Hey, this is Brian McWilliams from Electric Liberty Land on the Lines of Liberty. You're watching Anti-News Live along with my lazy dog Hank here, who diarrheaed all over that couch. That's why that blanket's there. Enjoy.
And now it's time for that part of the show where we give a big thank you and a shout out to all the beautiful men and women who support this show with their hard-earned and much appreciated dollars. We could not do this without you. If you would like to increase the value of your life and get your name on this list, just go to patreon.com/thesystemimisdown and join the Downers Club.
I'm done, I'm pissed, and I'm not putting up with it anymore. You Satanists want to sacrifice the West. You want to kill the beautiful goddess that is the West. You people are enemies, and we're going to get your asses, and we know what you're up to, and we're coming for you. So I've had enough of these people. Okay, so I've been containing this for the last week. That's why I've been in here sweating, getting pissed, because I can't handle it anymore.
Hey, this is Toby from Bad Christian, and you're watching AntiNews. Hey, this is Toby from Bad Christian, and you're watching AntiNews.
Hello, everyone. I'm Lucas from the 29 Toes podcast, and you're watching the AntiNews Live. Fun fact, do you know anything that you drink out of this mug tastes 50% better? You should give it a try. Enjoy the show.
Well, apparently, Craigie old boy forgot that our intermissions are pretty short these days. Because as you can see if you're watching this on YouTube, that Craig's not back. So I'm flying solo until he strolls his sweet little ass back in here. So until that point, I'll switch over to solo view so you don't have to watch his empty room. Maybe I'll just cover another story on my own. I don't know. Don't know what's going on there, but Craig took a little nap, a little break. He must have fell asleep on the toilet during the break, which is fine. That's fine. So, Politico.com reports, so you know it's legit. This is keeping with the politics tonight. And I apologize for the overly large amount of politics in the news lately. I don't love talking about politics. Neither of us really do. But it just makes for such interesting entertainment. We do have a lot more strange things going on that we talk about in the after party. But we got to get to the really important stuff first before we get into the weird stuff. If you want the after party, you got to go join Patreon. And I'm not going to tell Craig everything I just said about him while he was gone.
I don't even care.
But Craig's back. Craig.
I don't care what you said while I was gone.
Perhaps you forgot that our intermissions are really short now that we're not doing live.
Apparently. Well, I got caught up and as soon as I go up, I get bombarded with people talking and asking me, and I'm just like, I gotta go. All I came up for was the beer. I don't care about you. I just want the beer.
I don't love you. I just love beer. Shut up. I gotta go.
Exactly.
The people need me. But you got back just in time. I was about to start into an article on my own. And once I start doing articles on my own, then I will know. You're frozen. You're frozen. So I guess I'll do this on my own.
You froze, and I probably didn't want to hear what you were about to say.
That's fine. I was saying once I start having to do articles on my toilet, which is probably what really happened, or when you...
I didn't use the bathroom at all.
Sure. Or when you freeze up and don't have anything to say, I'm gonna start just doing the show on my own. If you give me a taste of what it's like to not be interrupted while
Nobody
I'm
wants
talking.
to hear that. Nobody wants to hear that.
That's true. I do. And that's all that matters. My show. But Politico.com reports...
You would have one less listener. I would not listen anymore.
Damn.
I only listen to hear myself.
I know. How is it? You probably go through and you mute every time I'm talking, unmute.
I do. I was like, I don't want to hear this. Just fast forward through it.
Ironically, almost every time you go to talk on the show, you mute your mic. So it must be really boring to listen to yourself talk and you can't even hear yourself half the time.
That's not true at all. Happens maybe once or twice an episode.
Politico.com, so you know it's legit, says Supreme Court turns away Planned Parenthood defunding cases. You know where this is going.
This one too.
You know where this is going.
Well, do you know who the tiebreaker was?
Let me guess. Some sort of rapist?
Yeah. So he actually voted in favor of what everybody said he would be against and would destroy women's womb rights.
Yep. Are we going to hear about this like in mainstream news? Are people going to be like, "Oh, he's actually on our side"? The guy who women came out in droves in I shouldn't overstate it because that's what everybody else does. A good handful of women came out dressed as the Handmaid's Tale girls to protest Brett Kavanaugh, saying that it was the end of women's reproductive rights and subsequently women's rights in general, and they would be dehumanized, blah, 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 bullshit. And the dude didn't even vote against Planned Parenthood.
Right.
So
the easiest thing he could vote against,
and it wasn't
far easier than criminalizing abortion or whatever. He said, yeah, don't stop funding them.
Yep. The Supreme Court on Monday declined to review whether states can block Planned Parenthood and other abortion providers from their Medicaid programs, passing on a pair. So it's not even saying, no more abortion. It's saying states can choose to block that from being government funded. That's it.
Right.
That's it. That's what we're really arguing about as being the end of women in society and putting them into slavery and captivity and blah, blah, blah.
And as a justice, his job is to not take a political side, which obviously there's going to be leaning one way or another. But what he did, he didn't say, no, I don't agree with that. He said, I'm not sure we can do that.
Sure.
Based on the Constitution is basically what they're getting at here. It's like, I don't know if that's constitutional, which is all the Supreme Court actually does.
Yep. Exactly. So, yeah, the guy who was going to put women in cages on the border or something and mace them or tear gas. I don't even know what the claims are these days.
I don't know anymore.
The guy who hates women because he supposedly rapes them with zero evidence and erases all their memories. Yep. I mean, what do you guys want? Are we going to keep screaming about Kavanaugh, or can we let it go now? Because he didn't... I don't even know what to say. None of it's true. Nothing is true. Nothing. Zero things are true.
Yeah, it just goes to show people obviously, we knew this before this article came out, but they obviously were outraged about absolutely nothing. They threw this big stink as soon as he was nominated, saying how he would end our rights of being a human and blah, blah, blah. And his first case involving abortion, he's like, I don't think so.
Leave it alone. Go about your business.
Right.
Yeah, the whole thing makes me wonder what exactly we missed while the whole Kavanaugh thing was going on, because that was a big fat nothing burger, and such outrage.
A lot of screaming, though.
We probably even gave it more of our time and our breath than it deserved, but that's that. Do you got one more before we kick out and jump into the after party?
Well, speaking of rapists, we talked about him last week. Neil deGrasse Tyson has more people coming out against him now, all of a sudden.
Okay.
There's 4 of them now.
Did you read through the article before now? Because it'd be great if we didn't have to read 8 pages and be like,
no.
Okay, cool.
No.
Well, let's begin.
This article just says how sexual misconduct allegations could cost astrophysicist Neil deGrasse Tyson millions. So this just the first paragraph just said allegation of sexual misconduct against Neil deGrasse Tyson by 4 women. That's to me, I'm just like, wow. Last week it was 1, maybe 2. Was there a
3.
second one last week?
It was 3.
Was there 3? I thought it was 2.
There was the rape. There was the tattoo, and there was the other one. The creepy music and wife beater tank top.
Oh yeah,
night.
I thought some of those were blurred into one.
Nope.
Says Tyson, who achieved fame by translating the complexities of the universe in a way that primetime viewers can understand. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you for dumbing it down for us.
Tell us
people.
the 4th one. That's all I want to hear about. I don't
has denied the
recaps.
worst of the charges. He's denied the worst of the charges, that he drugged and raped a former classmate in '84. He apologized for other interactions, such as the recollection by one woman that he grabbed her in order to look at a tattoo that was under her dress. Okay. So now it's not that he stuck his hand down her dress; he just grabbed her to look at it.
Oh yeah, they never said he stuck his hand down. They just said he looked, like he peeked in or whatever.
So it doesn't even specify the other two, but it's talking about how he could owe millions.
So it doesn't say the fourth one, what the story is? Hello? Are you muted?
I don't know.
Why do you mute yourself when you're in the middle of a sentence?
I coughed. I cleared my throat. So I'm going to hang on just a sec. I want to see what the other ones were for.
Okay. Well, we'll all be here. This isn't just like an audio podcast or something.
Oh. Well, you can edit it out because it's not live.
I'm not going to.
But you will.
I will not.
Says another woman. Here we go. Another woman has accused Neil deGrasse Tyson of sexual misconduct. Says another woman came forward with allegations accusing astrophysicist Neil deGrasse Tyson of sexual misconduct. Last month, 3 accused him. Yeah, we said that. Sparking an investigation by National Geographic. Because that's an official investigation.
Uh-huh.
The company
now, if you look over here, you'll see the mating patterns of the astrophysicist and his natural habitat, a penthouse apartment where he will begin by exposing his chest, beating it, and
playing,
threatening
to the meeting call.
Swinging a knife and making jokes about murder and turning on the most graphic parts of romantic classic music. Continue.
So it says, the company, National Geographic, the company behind his how, not show how. So these guys are complete idiots. Yep. New piece published by BuzzFeed this week, so it's legit. The new accuser detailed a story in which Tyson, allegedly drunk, approached her during a holiday party at the American Museum of Natural History. Wow, he hangs out at the most boring places to commit his
like the nerdiest rapist
deviancies.
ever.
In
hanging
2012,
out at a comic shop in the library.
According to her, Tyson made a crude joke and comments and suggested that go into his office at the museum alone. Wow, they can't. Oh my gosh,
people are so freaking lazy these days.
These people are. This is an article, not a angry tweet.
Right.
It's HNHH, whoever that is. So it's obviously legit. But it says, let's read that again. Where'd it go?
He said something about going into his office.
And suggested that go into his office at the museum alone.
Wow.
So he made a crude joke and comments and suggested they go into his office at the museum alone.
Okay.
So that's his misconduct.
Keep going. Get to the sexual deviancy, because there has to be something more than, hey, you want to come in here?
It says BuzzFeed article goes on to include a 2014 screenshot of an email that she sent to her employers in an effort to shoot down a proposed collaboration with Tyson. It says BuzzFeed News that it has spoken with more than 30 people, including the alleged victims and their families, Cosmos crew members, and Gratitude students and professors who were at UT Austin 30 years ago. I don't even know where this is going. So it was included. So she complained in an email to her employer.
Okay.
To not work with him.
Again, I need more information. What was the conversation exactly? What led up to this? Were you guys flirting around? And he said, hey, well, we could go into my office, blah, blah, blah. Like, it could have been a joke. It could have been.
That is it.
It could have been warranted, but there's no need to actually give the dialogue, give the conversation, give what exactly happened. Just he said a thing.
Jokes and said they should go into his office alone, which, depending on context, asking a woman into an office alone is not misconduct.
Yeah.
I mean,
did she accept?
I asked my wife into the bedroom alone sometimes, generally. More times than she actually goes into the bedroom alone with me.
I believe it.
So am I guilty of misconduct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
I tell crew jokes a lot, especially on here.
It's literally going to get to a point. Yeah, exactly. It's literally going to get to a point where if you say, "Hey, what are you doing later?" that is going to be considered sexual harassment. And again, like we said in a big, way too long rant last week, if this guy is doing, like, if he is going up to women and like them having a short conversation, him being like, "Hey, you want to go have sex in my office?" Like,
or, "Hey,
aggressively,
nice
yeah, okay, that guy's a scumbag. But again, tell me exactly what happened and explain to me. Like, do 2 seconds of journalism. Ask what the conversation was. Ask what the mood was in the room. I am not a journalist. I never claimed to be, but if I interview somebody, I ask them way more questions than it seems like you're asking these people when you're doing these interviews. And if you are asking them and they're not giving you the juicy stuff, then don't report on it because it's not what you're saying.
Yeah, so-and-so said something might have happened.
Please
and that's
go
the
on.
Story. That's
yeah,
the
I'm
story.
sure there's like 4 more paragraphs in that article that say nothing about what happened. They just go on to talk about Tyson, right?
Actually, there's only one more paragraph that talks about the other 3 accusers.
Exactly.
And that's about it.
Good freaking Lord. But we are approaching an hour and 25. Well, we were past an hour and 25. We're approaching an hour and a half. So I would say that that's a good place to wrap it for this main episode. Craig, we tried doing this last week, but do you want to... I mean, you failed miserably at it. You just gave the actual headlines. Do you want to tease headlines? Like, give hints as to what things could be? Put a creative twist on the headlines so people have to go figure out what you're talking about.
Honestly, let's see if I even have any.
I've got several.
Go ahead and start teasing yours. I'll see what I got on my list still.
All right. Some of these are barely news, and so I mean they'll be fun to rant about, but I'm not going to give the headline because that won't mean anything for those ones. But we got to talk about the Burger King teaming up with McDonald's. We got to talk about Kevin Hart being a homophobe. We got to talk about Britain literally not caring about democracy, and we've got to talk about well, Dean Martin's daughter responds to the "baby it's cold outside" controversy. I think that one speaks for itself. And I've got sex robot creator who's ready to make a baby with his machine. All right, how about you? You're muted, but I'm assuming that what you're saying is just hilarious.
I had the Dean Martin's daughter one. And then tragedy with a buff kangaroo.
All right.
And then teachers' misuse of gender pronouns.
Oh, God. I almost had that one. That's not even a good enough teaser because I don't even want to hear it. I read the headline. I was like, I don't care. No, I know exactly what it is. I know what it is.
Oh, we'll just scratch that one from the list.
I could probably just quote the whole thing. We'll get into it a little bit, but
all right.
That's not even news. That's just commonplace these days. But
Ooh.
What?
Ooh. This might be interesting. At least one major phone carrier was caught lying about their 4G coverage, according to the FCC.
All right.
That might be interesting.
Well,
it might be as boring as that headline sounds, but it could be interesting. It's kind of like the Apple iPhones dumbing down their phones.
Yeah, slowing down
as
the
came
old
out.
ones as they get new models.
Right. So I mean, if you have a major because it called it a major provider. If like Verizon is like, oh yeah, you're getting all of the 4G coverages, and you're like, it's kind of a little slow, but no, you're good. You're getting 4G, and then come to find out, actually, you were only getting 3G, but you were paying 4G prices all this time.
I feel like we're covering everything that we're going to say in the after party at the moment, so save it. Save it.
All right.
But Craig, any final thoughts before we leave? Any thoughts on the world and the quickly approaching Armageddon?
My hope, as we said last week, my hope for 2019 is that it just starts over, but it's going the wrong way. It's going the wrong direction. So I don't have hope at all for 2019. I have the opposite of hope. What's the opposite of hope?
Despair.
That was the word I was actually going to say. That was the only thing I could come up with. Utter despair for the year 2019.
It'll be amusing. It'll be amusing, and it will. We'll probably have to go in and get our blood pressure tested sometime in the year 2019 because of it. But
I'm just too laid back for my blood pressure to even get up about things like this. It's more just like, oh, that's fucking stupid.
There's some things I don't get riled up too easily, but there are some things where it's just. I mean, maybe I'll have to go see a therapist or something, get on a new medication just so I can chill my brain a little bit. It's not so much that I get angry, it's just I get appalled by how any of this is real life. But if you guys want to hear the after party, we're going to record a second episode of this same idea right now where we'll talk about even more ridiculous nonsense. And you can get that by joining the Downers Club, which helps keep the show going, growing, and getting bigger and better, and it will eventually help us get back into the practice of streaming the show live once we up our game in the internet department. But until then, you can get multiple bonus episodes of the show every single week by joining the Downers Club. Go over to patreon.com/The System Is Down and sign up for as little as basically nothing. You lose $5 a month, probably every single month. You definitely waste $5 a month. So take that wasted $5 a month that you would normally throw away on a drink or a burger and send it over this way. And I will use every single penny of it to make the show bigger and better for you. So you only have everything to gain. All right, so that said, we're going to jump over to the other side of the big, beautiful paywall and record the after party. Craig, it's been a pleasure as always.
Always a pleasure. Always.
And that said, we'll be back here next week with some more ridiculousness. Until then, question everything.
Question everything?